asada tofu, we will need 1 box of firm tofu, the juice of 2 limes, about 4 teaspoons of liquid aminos, 8 teaspoons nutritional yeast, 2 teaspoons cumin, 2 teaspoons onion powder, 2 teaspoons garlic powder, 2 teaspoons fresh black pepper, and 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, and whatever olive oil you love to cook with. The first thing you want to do in this recipe is marinate your tofu. Preferably, you want to marinate this for about 15 minutes at the very least to really allow all of the flavors to be absorbed in the tofu, since tofu doesn't have much flavor on its own. But if not, it's totally okay if you just do this and put it straight into your pan. So I'm going to cut my tofu. There's going to be a lot of water, so I'm just going to put it into this recipient here. You're going to squeeze out a little bit while it's still in the package. Great. And we're going to cut the rest of it. And we're going to wrap it around in some paper towels. And try to squeeze even more of the water it came in out of it. It's okay if you don't get all of it out. Great. Now we can move this out of the way. You want to cut them into fillets that are about 1/2 inch thick, which should give you approximately 7 pieces, depending on the block of tofu that you purchased. They don't have to be perfectly cut because we're going to eventually cut them once they're all cooked. There we go. So now we're going to add all of the ingredients to the tofu. I'm simply going to place them in a little tin just so that they all fit well and can marinate evenly. Great. So first I will add some lime juice. And we just want to coat each one of them evenly. Next, we will add the liquid aminos. It ends up being about 1/4 teaspoon on each side. Next, I'm going to add the onion powder. Great. Smoked paprika. A little bit more. Cumin. Here's the garlic powder. The black pepper. And lastly, the nutritional yeast. We're going to be using half of it at this point and the other half a little bit later. And what I like to do is just simply with my fingers, just kind of rub all of the ingredients onto the tofu. To cook our tofu, I'm using a 12-inch pan, non-stick. I'm using this size because it will be able to cook all of the tofu at once, but if you have a smaller one, it's okay. You're just going to have to cook it one at a time, or how many you can fit at a time. I'm setting it to medium heat, and I've added about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Just enough to coat the pan. I'm gonna let the oil heat up just a little bit. You can see that the oil's starting to change a little bit. You'll know that it's ready when you start seeing some small ripples across the oil. You're starting to see it a little bit right here. Just waiting a little bit more. We see a couple of bubbles start forming. And now you can really see the ripples there. So we're ready to place our tofu. So carefully, one piece at a time. You want to try to place the tofu away from you so that it doesn't splatter on you. And I like to add any of the cooking juices, any of the marinating juices back into the tofu on top of it. And we will cook it on this side for 8 minutes. So the 8 minutes are almost up. We can start to see these little pieces of the nutritional yeast and all of the spices getting really brown, and that's perfect. If you can smell this, you're gonna get a scent that's going to mimic a little bit of maybe beef. And the reason why is because of the amino acids and the nutritional yeast actually have vitamin B12. So you're going to get some of those similar scents, which is what's going to give this tofu a very meaty flavor, even though it's all plant-based. So let's go ahead and flip this just gently. That's perfect. You see a little bit of the browning, especially on the sides. And we're gonna just continue flipping each one. It's a great browning right there. And it's totally fine if it starts breaking up a little bit. Again, we're gonna be chopping this up in the end, so it doesn't have to look perfect. And we'll let that cook for another 8 minutes. So now that our tofu is done, we're going to cut it up so that it's ready for our tacos. You can honestly cut it any way that you prefer, but I like to cut it diagonally. just like that. Make sure to like this video, share it if you loved it, and subscribe to my channel for more recipes. Oh, and follow me on social media at AMDV Adriana.